Okay. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh. This France issue, I don't really know much about it because, to be honest with you, I don't watch mainstream news. Like all these channels like BBC and ITV and all, generally, I don't watch them. Same reason I don't watch these documentaries on Islam. Because most of the time, like it's just propaganda, and what happens is that you watch it, get upset, and because it's portrayed you inaccurately, you know, and there's nothing you can do about it apart from just upset that someone has portrayed to the world in the wrong way. Yeah. Now, from what I used to, there was a man who basically beheaded someone, I think, because of them drawing pictures of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a magazine. So the person basically cut off their head um, because it was insulting, obviously, the Prophet, the way the pictures did and so forth. Now, look, this whole argument, yeah, and then I heard after some hijabis got stabbed. I don't know if it was related to that. They were in a park and they had some people had dogs off the leash and they got stabbed and by some women or so forth, some hijabi sisters. Now, I don't know, yeah. Um, and I think there was a big order. A lot of French people, not all of them, got to be very careful about the words because you don't want to paint everyone with the same brush. But I think after the person got their head cut off, I think there's a big protest in support of the person who, I don't know, drew the cartoons because people believe that he should have the freedom of speech and that he shouldn't be his head cut off. Look, the point I say, I don't know about the story DL and I'm not claiming I do, but I know what the general narrative is that a Muslim cut off someone's head for insulting the Prophet, and then the non-Muslims in France, some of them, not all of them, have come out, and basically said, we're not going to stand for this, we've got freedom of speech in this stadium and so forth, Now, the thing is this, bro, all I want to say to you, to the French people and all these other European countries that try and ban Niqab and hijab and all this kind of stuff, listen, first of all, we love our Prophet, yeah? But we know, yeah, we know, that you lot have double standards. Because the reality of the situation is, the reality of the situation, I wasn't born into a Muslim family. I converted to Islam. But let's just be honest. When you say you believe in freedom of speech, you don't really believe freedom of speech. Because I'll tell you this, yeah. If people went around, if anyone went around, yeah, and saw people with their mothers or their grandma and started insulting their mother or their grandma or their disabled daughter or their disabled child. Yes, technically you have freedom of speech, but we all know if a person is with his grandmother, elderly grandmother, if they're a young guy, yeah, with his beloved grandma who it takes like 5 minutes to walk a few meters and so forth, and then some other person comes up to his grandma and starts insulting her, calling her all obscene names and saying all disgusting stuff. We know. You can say there's freedom of speech all you want. There's also common decency. Yeah? And you know that if that kept on happening, if people just felt they were free to insult people's children, and the freedom of speech doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Stop pretending it exists. Pupils don't have freedom of speech in school. If they insult the teacher, they will be disciplined. In work, you can't say what you want. If you swear or use inappropriate language in work, you'll get sacked. Like, this is a myth. No one needs to explain to you. Look, at the end of the day, we're not saying we expect a normal country. And we do it all the time. I don't think, guys, look, if Muslims, really wanting not to obey your laws, there would be chaos. Do you know how many Muslims there are? Africa, a continent, half of it is Muslim. Everywhere you go, I guarantee you, there's no major city that you can go outside except obviously the cities that have banned hijab. But generally, most countries, you cannot go outside without seeing a woman in hijab. That sister has a father, has brothers, and it's that. Muslims are everywhere. And you make it seem like we're so sensitive and we want everything like that. Basically we want everything our way, intolerable. That's rubbish. It's just common decency that you don't disrespect someone's prophet or say things that are sacred to them. They're religious things and they're family things, and certain things are just treasure to people. Insulting people's mothers, fathers, and grandmas and grandfathers, it's not on. Insulting people's religion, it's not on. Now the whole thing is every day, we follow things in non-Muslim countries that goes against what is it? Islam. For example, car insurance. As Muslims, we don't believe in interest riba. But anyone who drives has insurance because it's the law of the land, and breaking the law of the land is going to get you in more trouble, and because it's going to get you in trouble and you won't be able to look after your family and you won't be able to look after your parents and this, that, and the other. So if you obey the law of the land. For us, alcohol is not permissible, but we pass it on shelves every day when we go into the newsagents. Smoking is not permissible, but we see it in newsagents every day when we go to get milk or something. So, there's so many things, For example, adverts. We go into newsagents and stuff, and they have page 3, all these magazines and all this kind of stuff, To objectify women like that is against our religion. Do you see Muslims going into the, do you see that Muslims going into these news agents and, breaking the alcohol and breaking the cigarettes and burning the paper? No, come on, man. So this thing that, we're intolerable, Muslims are intolerable, come on, man. Muslims are your doctors, Most of the doctors are Asians. They're either Muslim or Hindu or Sikh. But a big portion of them are Muslims. Dentists as well. Like, Muslims are everywhere, People working in retail shops, Muslims. There's no way you can go without Muslims. To say us Muslims are these intolerable people, that anything that doesn't fit in with Islam, we destroy and we break. No. But it's not irresponsible and it's not intolerable to say to you, listen, our prophet is off the limits. No, I'm not saying it's right. Look, this is not a Muslim country, so we can't implement Sharia law in this in Europe and this, that, because it's not our country. Yes, in a Muslim country, with no shame, if you try and insult the prophet out in public and this, that, and the other, we're not going to allow it because it's a Muslim country and we love and respect the prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But the whole thing is that to act like us, look, your fear of niqab, your fear of hijab, it's way too much. Even this COVID thing, like our Prime Minister was saying that he wants to ban, the burqa and all this stuff. He said women in niqab look like post boxes. And it's so ironic that things happen that everyone, all the hijabi women, they end up, he asked them to wear niqab. Because basically what happened is all the Muslim women who wear hijab and this, that, when COVID come around, when they put a face mask on, that's basically niqab. And he would just say they look like letterboxes, and now he's asking them to do it. But the point I'm trying to say is, look, Muslims are not going nowhere. Understand this. And the guys, French, Europeans, people understand this. Yeah? Muslims are not going anywhere. I don't care how much you hate the hijab. I don't care how much you hate the niqab. I don't care how much you hate the brothers with their beards and them wearing their phobes and the hats. Muslims are not going anywhere. And this is not the first time, yeah? Okay, this beheading was bad. We don't believe it in that. You can't take the laws in a non-Muslim country into your own hand, yeah? That's what I mean. In a Muslim country, the person by the government and the police, not by any individual on the street and stuff. If you insult the Prophet, yeah, in public, in a Muslim country, with no shame, yes, that person is gonna lose his life. I'm not ashamed of that. Our religion is based on our Prophet. In a Muslim country, they won't allow it. But in a non-Muslim country, you don't believe in a Prophet. You don't believe in Islam. So, like, we're aware of that, yeah? But the thing is this. I know you don't believe the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet. But I'm going to tell you this. When the Prophet but you know he was definitely a historical figure. He existed, yeah? Everyone knows that. Even if you don't believe in the Prophet, which he is. The place he first started calling to Islam, and you got to understand, yeah, this place, Mecca, yeah, there's a thing called the Kaaba. We don't worship the Kaaba. You've seen this square black thing, yeah, that people are all going around and this, that, and the other, and so forth, yeah? You've seen it at Hajj, you've heard of Hajj, you've heard of Umrah, you've seen it on the TV. When people say, such and such is the Mecca of sport, like this stadium, like Madison Square Garden is the Mecca of sport. What they mean is like the center. So I'm sure you've seen like a big cube in a place in Saudi where all the people go around it. Okay, first of all, we don't worship that thing. That thing is a mosque. Yeah, you can go in it and you can actually pray. Yeah, it's a mosque. Yeah, and we don't believe Allah's in that mosque. We believe Allah is above the creation. Allah's not. There's the creation and there's the creator, and the two don't mix. But anyway, the point is this, yeah. What was the whole point I was trying to say is that, yeah, so when the Prophet first message from Allah, yeah, and message were given to other people, starting from Revelation and so forth, but we also believe the first prophet, there's the difference between the prophet and the messenger. But the point is this: we believe in Adam, we believe in Abraham, we believe in Noah, we believe in Moses, we believe in all, and we all believe they came with one religion, to worship one God alone. Now, Moses didn't come with Judaism, Jesus didn't come with Christianity, Muhammad did come with submission to God. That's just Arabic for Muslim, yeah? So we believe that Jesus called to worship God, he was Muslim. Yeah, Muslim is someone who submits to God. We believe Moses was a Muslim, he submitted to God. We believe, Jesus was a Muslim, he submitted to God. And we believe that Muhammad was a Muslim, he submitted to God. We're not Mohammedans. The people who follow Jesus should be Christians, and the people that follow Moses should be Mosaians, because the religion is not about that person. It's about calling to worship God alone, not to worship idol statues. Anyway, you get my point. What I'm trying to say is that when Prophet Muhammad first gave his message, there was the people of Prophet Muhammad's time, they worship 360 gods. 360 gods, they used to put them in the Kaaba. Because what happened is that Abraham, so as we know him as Ibrahim, you know him as Abraham, yeah, he built this the Kaaba and so forth, yeah. So the thing is, this is the first place to worship God alone, yeah. Now the thing is, yeah, no, not that guy. Yeah, so the thing is, he built that for the worship of God alone. and he worshipped God alone. Anyway, after his time, people came and they started worshipping other than God, making idols, this, that, and the other, and so forth. And idolatry was everywhere, 360 gods. So Muhammad received a message from God, that these idols must be removed and so forth. And so these idols are incorrect, and that basically you should call people to worship God, not to worship these idols. So anyway, the point I'm trying to say to you, Muhammad was one man, yeah, and these people were worshipping these gods, and the way they used to make their money is that the people used to come to that area, yeah, and they used to They used to worship these false gods, yeah. Now, Muhammad was one man, yeah, and you had all these people worshipping their false gods, and he would spread his message of Islam, yeah, and eventually, yeah, people left worshipping these statues and all this stuff, and they became Muslim, yeah. Now the thing is, what I'm trying to say to you, yeah, and it wasn't by force, yeah. In fact, they kicked Muhammad sallallahu. They stoned Muhammad. They put like animals insides on him while he was praying. They like battered him and his companions, and he had to actually leave his hometown, yeah. And then he went somewhere else, yeah, and he was calling people to Islam. He was calling to people Islam, and so many people became Muslim. And when he came back, yeah, he didn't slaughter them, he didn't kill them, he didn't like expel them and this, that, and the other, and so forth. But the point is that Islam spread. And the thing what I'm going to say to you is this: Muslims didn't do 9/11. We got blamed for 9/11, yeah. Unfortunately, because us Muslims, a lot of us have become very unreligious. That's what we've become. A lot of us Muslims have become very unreligious, yeah. So what's happened is that the respect of nations, we don't have respect from nations because we left our deen. There's a lot of things a lot of us Muslims don't do. Lie, sell things we should sell, do not just in how we deal with people, and so there's lots of stuff we've done that's not from our religion. The third leader of the Muslim, a man named Omar ibn al-Khattab, he said that whenever we the Muslims used to look for honor in things other than Islam, Allah used to humiliate us. So a lot of Muslims who we don't practice our deen, when a lot of things and so forth. So Allah, at the current moment, we're humiliated in that nations don't respect us and all this kind of stuff. A lot of us are into nationalism and not into the religion and culture and all this kind of stuff. But I want to let you know something, yeah? See 9/11. Muslims didn't do 9/11. Yeah? Like I said, we left our deen. And look, blowing yourself up is not part of Islam anyway. If you know anything about basic things about Islam, we can't get tattoos. Even a tiny, tiny little tattoo is forbidden in Islam. Desecrating your body and getting a little tattoo, even a tiny one, is a major sin in Islam. So if you can't get a little tiny tattoo, yeah, and inscribe it on your body, how can you blow your whole body up? It doesn't make no sense. But anyway, Muslims are not that organized. We left our deen, you know what I'm saying? Muslims in the past, everyone knows that Andalus and was a place of science and technology mixed with religion and science and so forth, yeah. We didn't have that thing like the Christians where they looked down on science because it was anti their religion, yeah. But the point is this, yeah. Even though we've left our deen, yeah, and even though Muslims were not that organized, and it doesn't make sense. This is the people that did 9/11, the Muslims that were supposed to have did 9/11, the day before they were gambling with girls, drinking alcohol and all that stuff, and then they went and done jihad. That doesn't make sense. But the point I'm trying to say is that we got blamed for 9/11, yeah? I'm telling you, Muslims are not organized. At this moment in time, one, it's haram for us, yeah? And two, Muslims are not that organized. But anyway, my point is, we got blamed for that, yeah? And people were so ignorant that the first people to get shot and stuff like that the first person to get shot after 9/11 wasn't even a Muslim. People's ignorance was so thick, even though it wasn't even from our religion, They shot a Sikh. A Sikh got shot with a double barrel shotgun. Yeah, because they couldn't tell the difference between a Muslim and a Sikh. That's how deep the ignorance was, and even though it's not allowed in our religion. But the point is, 9/11 happened, planes went into buildings, whether they were allowed. I'm not saying that those Muslims that went on a plane and they had something to do with it, but I'm saying Muslims did not organize this. Just like how there's police on the ground, you know, on motorbikes and in cars and on the beat. There's police. There's also traffic cops. Yeah, and it's funny that none of them were working that day, or there was absolutely none. Yeah, there's planes coming in and out of all the time out of, America and stuff like that, and there's nothing policing it or nothing watching it. Come on. But the point I'm trying to say is that it got blamed on us and people believed it was Muslims. Yes, there were some people that got intimidated and took off their hijab, but people shaved their beards off and this, that, and the other. But the vast majority of Muslims, just like in a time when the Prophet was getting stoned and this, that, and the other, and so forth, yeah, most people hold it onto their deen. Yeah, because the thing is this, I'm telling you, Muslims ain't going anywhere. You know why? Just on families alone. 1400 years ago to today, Muslims, we get married, we have families. Boyfriend and girlfriends, it's forbidden. It's forbidden in Judaism and it's forbidden in Christianity. But to be honest, you guys don't really take your thing seriously. Yeah, it's called fornication. Yeah, the boyfriend and girlfriends. There's no such thing as in Christianity and Judaism as boyfriend and girlfriends. It's called fornication. But stop your youth. Stop a Christian youth and stop a Jewish youth. Yeah, and ask them what's the difference. What's fornication? They most probably don't even know what the word is. But the point I'm trying to say to you, yeah. In fact, I'll give the Jews a little credit. They practice their deen a little bit more than a Christian. But the point I'm trying to say to you, yeah, is that Muslims, 2020, yeah, they have families, yeah. See, why most of the world is doing this secular YOLO stuff and sleeping with strangers after clubbing on a weekend and, boyfriend, girlfriend, transvestite, man vestite, woman vestite, gay, lesbian, anything goes, yeah. Muslims are still, bam, mother, father, kids, yeah. And the thing is, non-Muslims are generally not having families. They're having girlfriend, boyfriend, Netflix and chill and all this kind of stuff. Relationships after clubbing, one night stands and all this stuff, abortions, this and that. So if you look at the average Muslim family, they have like maybe 4 kids, some have 6 kids, but they have a couple of kids anyway. And this is consistency because fornication is wrong. And even Muslims that fornicate, they know it's wrong and they're supposed to get married. Yeah, and at some stage they want to because it's dishonored in our culture. Now the thing is this, yeah. That alone, not only that, Muslims, call people to Islam and tell people about Islam because they believe it's truth. But the thing is this, you know why Muslims are not going anywhere? And you know why? Forget about the people that are born Muslim. In Europe, yeah, and in the first world, even though people know there's no girlfriend and boyfriends in Islam, music is not part of Islam, clubbing is not part of Islam, smoking and drinking is not Islam, drugs is not a part of Islam. Even though they know Islam has a million and 20 rules, yeah, of fun things you're not allowed to do, yeah. Young people, white, black, European, non-European, yeah, first world, third world, are becoming Muslim. You have the religion with the most do's and don'ts, yeah. Can't smoke, can't drink, can't music, can't boyfriend and girlfriend, can't drugs, can't free mix men and women and all this stuff. But people are still becoming Muslim. And Muslims are having families. Generally the Muslim family has like 4 kids, 3 kids, some have 6, this, that, and the other, and consistently, yeah. And they're also calling to Islam, and people who are reading about Islam and becoming Muslim. There's nothing else like this. You have Jews, yeah. Christians don't practice their thing. Christianity is nothing. You just go to church on Sunday and live like an atheist or secularist. Just go to church, play some Man plays guitar, we sing a few hymns, yeah, and that's it. My life is just like an atheist or secularist. Christianity has no influence, nata, nothing on what to do with like society and nothing. Okay, Jews, yeah, it's true. They hold on to the religion a bit more than Christianities, but they're only amongst, they deal with themselves. And yes, some Jews say you can't convert, some say you can convert, but either way, they do their own thing amongst themselves and they're a small number. But as for the rest of the world, you're just going in the wind. You're just going like sleeping around, just like one night stands, no families, transvestite, manvestite. And you know what? You see all this, you only live once, follow your desires and stuff. That is exciting for a short while. But there's going to get a stage. For example, you have these rules now where a transvestite man or woman or whatever you want to call them, they can sleep with someone, yeah, not conceal that they've gone through a transformation, yeah, have relationships with people. And in America, do you know how many times someone has slept with someone? That person hasn't told them before that they were a man and now they've become a woman, yeah, and then after they break it to them, which I believe is immoral. How can you have a relationship? How can you be intimate with someone? The person doesn't know that you used to be something else, and then you disclose it to them. And when you know what's happened, what happens? So many transvestites are getting killed because they set with someone, disclose for them who they really are or was, yeah, and then they break it to someone. And naturally, a person, I'm not saying naturally they should kill them, but I'm saying naturally, obviously, for a straight man or a straight woman, and you have an intimate relationship with someone, and that person turns out to be, that person basically made you gay without you knowing. But that person's like taking a big liberty with your, I don't even know, with your trust and your, and then they just say, yeah, by the way, I used to be a man, I used to be a woman. And then the person is in a state of shock or whatever. I'm not saying that they're entitled to, in a non-Muslim country, to kill them. I'm just saying to you that there's going to get a stage when you see all this freedom stuff, this quote-unquote, do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm anyone, where everyone can do what they want to do, as long as you're not physically harming anyone. There's going to come a time when you're going to find yourself in an unnatural world, yeah, and you're not going to like it, There's going to come a time people are going to have relationships with animals, people are going to be having relationships with their parents, and when it gets so screwed up, you lot guys are going to come back to Islam. Trust me. But the point I'm trying to say is that Muslims ain't going nowhere. Yes, this one Muslim guy, he beheaded someone because they drew pictures, trying to get reaction out of Muslims. And they got a reaction out of a Muslim, and, but you don't know what was the thing is, you can defend free speech, but the point is that, was it worth it? Was it worth it? What was the goal? What was the goal of drawing the Prophet Muhammad like that? What was the goal? To show that we have freedom of speech? Okay, let someone come round to your house on Sunday when you have your family dinner, if people even have that anymore. When you're having your Sunday roast with your all your loved ones, your grandma, your grandfather. Let them come let them see you with your grandma and your grandpa in a shopping mall. Walk up to them and be violent and abuse them. Because the fact is, we love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as much as our mothers, as much as our fathers, as much as our kids. We do. But the point is you don't want to understand it. You do understand it, and you just want the freedom to just be nasty. Cool. You have the freedom of speech, and some people believe, I'm not saying what our religion says. I told you our religion says that we have to abide by the laws of the land that we're living in. But you believe you have the freedom to insult the Prophet you want, And some people take it into their own hands and believe they have the right to act how they want. I'm not saying Islam says that. I told you Islam doesn't say that. In a Muslim country, yes, we're not going to give you no freedom of expression to insult the Prophet of our country. No way. No way. We are not going to allow you in a Muslim country, yeah, for you to insult the Prophet who we believe was the Prophet to mankind. We're not, and we don't care if you like it or not. But in your country, you do what you want. You have the freedom. It's not freedom of speech, it's freedom to insult. So you can insult people's mums, you can insult handicapped people, you can insult, wounded people. Anyway, I'm done. What I'm just trying to say to you, you can fight niqab, you can fight hijab, you can fight, ban Islam from people working in the workplace when hijab and niqab, and and you can't wear it in public places, but Rihanna can wear it when she wants to. But the thing is this, Islam is going to grow, and you know what? It's not just the immigrants or the Muslims that are born into Muslim families. People are going to take shahada. So someone in your family is going to become Muslim, and they're going to have a Muslim family. Just like the presidents in Sweden, the politicians in Sweden and all these other countries. Someone in your family is going to become Muslim. So try and suppress it as much as you want. Muslims, Islam is the truth, and it's going to grow no matter what you try to do. And it's not through force. We don't need to do it through force, because when we speak to people that there's one God, God is not a man, God is not a woman, God is not an animal, God is not a statue, God is something greater. Yes, all religions say help the poor, Islam says that. Help the elderly, Islam says that. Help the vulnerable, Islam says that. Don't waste things, Islam says that. All the religions say this. The difference between Islam and all the other religions and so forth is Islam is the only one that singles out for God. All the other religions, yes, there's an all-knowing, perfect God, but, he became a man, but he became a monkey, but he became a cow, but God is everywhere in us. I'm God, you're God, everyone's God. No. The creator of the creation above the creator. The creator is the creator above the creation, and the creation is the creation below the creation. The creator. Anyway, peace out, and may Allah guide us all to the truth.